Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant, and I'm so excited today to share with you a card featuring lots of new from Mama Elephant for the February 2018 release. They have just released the Little Bunny Agenda, so if you're a big fan of their Little Agenda line of stamps, the bunnies are perfect for spring and Easter and such a great addition to the collection. Plus, there is the Inside Pop Fence, which makes cards interactive, so amazing and fun, and really creates a fantastic element inside the card. If you're a fan of interactive cards, this is a great addition, and I'm so excited to share this with you. I die cut the fence from some brown cardstock. This is Lawn Fawn paper bag cardstock. And then the grass elements from some Lawn Fawn Noble Fur cardstock. What this is the fence goes on the inside of the card. There's a couple little tabs there. I think hopefully you can see those. Those are going to be the only thing attached to the card. And believe it or not, when you attach those and fold your card shut, it's going to fold flat, and when you open it, it's going to pop up to reveal this little, in this case, it's going to be a little garden with some bunnies and carrots and flowers and things. Now, I think it's easier to add the inserts. The inserts are going to be the pieces with the little tabs on them. So I like to use 1/8 inch score tape. That tends to be the perfect size. Some of these elements and little tabs are pretty small. Score tape is nice and strong, and it's nice and thin. So very, very easy and no liquid adhesive mess. So I highly recommend some score tape or another thin adhesive strip. When it's flat, I like to go ahead and pop these down wherever you want your little tabs to go. Now, I started with 2, and I went ahead and put them together and realized I really needed probably 3. So I had to kind of finagle it to get that third one in there. But if you've seen me put together any of these pop-up type things before that have tabs, whether it's a pop-up box or these inside pop-ups from Mama Elephant, if you do it while it's flat, it is so much easier. Now, then there are 2 little tabs to connect the fence to make it a square. You want to go ahead and press those together and then pop it up, and there is what the little fence looks like. And you can see there's a huge little area there kind of in between my 2 grass pieces. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and add that third one. You can hide those tabs on the fence slats. That's where I would put them. Otherwise, you're going to see a whole lot of green or have adhesive sticking in between. So I'm lining them up with those inside fence pieces. And it's a little tricky here, but luckily, since I have not attached this to the card, I'm still able to really kind of fold it flat. This was not as hard as some, and there I've got 3 layers for inside my little garden. Then I want to put adhesive on my tabs. So I like to kind of eyeball it first. The thing is when this folds down and flat, you don't want anything sticking out the side. So I've put adhesive on that, and then I'm just going to, and I wasn't really happy with it, so I'm just kind of rolling my adhesive off. Luckily, it didn't stick too terrible much, so I was kind of lucky there. I also realized I forgot to put the grass on. This is something else on the outside of the fence. If you're going to add that, it's easier to add while it's flat and not in the card. So because I hadn't pressed it in place on the inside of my card yet, I just kind of popped it off. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of each of these little grass pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and line all 4 sides with the grass. Because it's dimensional, I want to be able to see something pretty from every angle. I don't want to look at it and not have it be a complete little scene. So there are all my grass pieces. Here it is popped up. Now let's attempt this again. Let's put a little score tape on those 2 tabs that connect this to the inside of the card. And then all you do is line up 2 of the corners with the seam of the card. Sorry, my head is in the way, you guys. And then press down on the adhesive and fold it flat and pop it up. So there is my little flower garden for the inside of the card. I started with my dimensional element. A lot of times I like to start with what I think might be the most challenging, And they look really intimidating, but after you've done a few, they're so fantastic. So I've already added my flower garden. I think it's time to add a stamped sentiment on the inside of the card. From the Mama Elephant Tea with Friends, I'm going to stamp Enjoy Your Big Day. And then I'm going to set the card base aside for a second. For the front of the card now, I am using the previously released HILLSIDE cover. This is a fantastic die that really works with so many of the Mama Elephant stamps and dies. It is a fantastic basic. I'm a huge fan of basics, things that are great scene builders, and this is an awesome one. Now, to keep this, it's one layer basically, but I want it to appear to be more than one. I want it to have a white border all the way around, so I've masked that off with Post-it tape. And then all of those little layers there, I want most of them to appear to be grass, but I want two of them up at the top to appear to be sky. And then I'm going to start inking them up. I did die cut this from Bristol Smooth cardstock so that I would have a lot easier time ink blending. And then I'm simply inking, and I'm moving my Post-it tape that masks off each layer from layer to layer. Even though all of these layers are green, I want to concentrate the ink along the top edge and lighten as I go. I'm not too worried about getting this perfect. I just want to have a little bit of an ombre effect, I guess I want to say, or dark to light without having to use multiple inks. I hope that makes sense. So kind of lighter at each little, at the bottom of each layer. It also helps give that illusion that you've layered multiple pieces of paper, when in reality this is going to be flat, especially if you've got that pop-up on the inside. That's going to add some bulk to your card. I'm a big fan of trying to keep then the front of the card kind of flat. So it's going to be this layer with my inking, a stamped greeting, and then all my little die cut little bunny agenda, and even some the bunny's hop little accessories, which I'll show you in a second. So let's go ahead and switch now and add the sky with some Salty Ocean Distress ink. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I use Mowed Lawn for the grass, and then Salty Ocean is for the sky. And again, masking it off. I don't want to get any of that blue into the green. And we just want to finish the top of this panel, kind of try to darken it up near the top. And then I'm going to peel off all of my Post-it tape. I probably could have just removed anything from the center and spritzed it with water at this point and then blotted it dry. But I removed all my Post-it tape, spritzed the whole thing with water. That's going to give me some nice light areas, and then blot it dry with my paper towel. And here is my background all built. Now we are ready for the little bunny agenda, and these bunnies are so cute. I am a huge fan of all of their Mama Elephant's little agenda dies, and I think it really would be fun to mix and match all their little agenda people and critters, because they are all the same size and all so fun. This is going to be a little bunny garden, and I just picked several of the images. There are tons, and I actually stamped more than what you're seeing here. However, I did not implement any different colors. So even though I'm only showing a portion of what I actually stamped and colored, there are more used in the card design because I do need some for the inside of the card. And when I was working on the front of the card like I am here, I wasn't exactly sure how many I wanted for the inside. So I decided to do the front of the card first and then move to the inside of the card. Some of the images are repeated, especially ones with carrots, because I did want it to kind of appear to be this little vegetable garden or flower garden, whatever it might be. And so I repeated some of the, or quite a few of the images, I guess, but I did implement a couple of new ones that I didn't use on the front of the card inside, and I'll show you those when I put together the rest of the flower garden on the inside. The colors I'm using are shown here in the top right corner of the screen. Any color combinations I show here, I that have been used other places, I repeated. I might not have put them through the entire video, but if you see me using a certain color combination that's listed, then I just repeated it for other elements in the card. And that will kind of come into play. I did not show the coloring of the bunny's hop images, accessory images that I'm going to incorporate into my design. This kind of evolved as I was working. I originally thought I would just add my bunnies. So I have die cut them now with the coordinating Little Bunny Agenda dies. And while they definitely fill in the background and they're really cute, I just felt it was missing something. And the bunny's hop stamp set was sitting on my desk. And so I grabbed it and looked at it, and the carrot from that stamp set works perfectly. The leaves from that stamp set work perfectly with the Little Bunny Agenda. The flower. I thought these would make really great additions to my card. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all my bunnies. I am using some glue dots because they're nice and small, and I find they work really well for the little agenda line of stamped images. And then I am going to stamp the rest of my, or the accessory images I was just talking about. I did stamp my greeting. The greeting is from another new Mama Elephant stamp set. This is Picnic with Friends, the Celebrating You. And now I am adding those pieces I was talking about. So we've got carrots, we've got flowers, and the leaves. And I didn't really like where I put that flower, so I'm going to adjust that. Now, the great thing about the Hillside cover is it die cuts that little line, plus it adds the stitching. So you can tuck things behind there, which works great for building like a little garden, having flowers growing out of the background scene, the leaves, all those little things. Once I have all of these in place, I am going to put some adhesive on the front of my card and pop this down. That is really going to finish off the front of the card. You could add some additional things if you wanted to. I did take a shimmer pin, the Nouveau. This is the Aqua shimmer pin. It's clear, and I added some clear glitter to the balloons that the little bunny that's floating up towards the greeting is holding. But other than that, I didn't add anything else. I really felt that this finished off the front of the card beautifully. So let's move on to the inside of the card now, where it pops up, and add some additional images. I have got, I think, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more bunnies for the inside of the card, 3 more carrots, a flower, and I think that's it. That's going to really finish this off. Again, these were all colored with the same Copic marker colors, and I am going to use glue dots again to attach these to the layers inside of the fenced-in garden. And we want some on the outside, we want some on the inside. This really gives a fantastic dimensional scene. So there's some little bunnies, they're hopping along inside the garden. There's some bunnies on the outside. There's one sitting in a box. And the little bunny reading a book with glasses is going to be perched right next to the sentiment on the inside of the card. If you are a fan of having the insides of your card be as amazing as the outside, I can't say enough great things about adding some sort of an interactive pop-up element. So many companies are coming out with these. Mama Elephant's got a couple of different options now for these dimensional pop-ups. And I think it just surprises the recipient and is just such a fun way to add that interactive element. It seems intimidating, but once you have put it together, it's amazing. I still am just amazed at how these pop-ups work. So gonna finish adding a few of these. Again, I used glue dots to attach these. I didn't want any messy liquid adhesive that might potentially mess up the inside of my card. There's what it looks like when you open and close it. How cute is that? And I'll go ahead and add my final bunny next to the sentiment like I was saying, and that will finish off my interactive Little Bunny Agenda card. Thanks for joining me today for this Mama Elephant card featuring the Little Bunny Agenda as well as lots of other stamps and dies from the February 2018 release. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Mama Elephant that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.